Welcome back to Gravit Designer. What we're going to look at today is the simple tools that are up here. We're going to definitely look at the selection tool and know that there is a small triangle here that goes down, which means it's a drop down bar. There's a subset, lasso, layer, and slice. We're definitely going to just look at the pointer today. I will get to the other ones later on this week. And then we're also going to look at our shape tools. With the shape tools, we have lines. As you can see, there's 6 of them there. 5 out of the 6 are actually in Illustrator. So when I tell you if you go to an Illustrator, they will transfer over everything that you learn now in this will transfer over to Illustrator very easily. And then last but not least, they are not seen right now because they're in gray are these over here. And it's group and ungroup and a couple other things. And we'll get to those after I go through the first 2 tools that I just highlighted. So as you can see from our previous video, I have page 1 up here. It's 11 by 17, my background color. If I want to keep it white, I can. If not, I click on here. Notice I can change it and it automatically changes. I'm going to go back to white and leave it as is and go like this, and we're in good shape. So actually it's a little off. And we want to make sure these are good. So what will happen is we're going to come here to our tools, our shape tools. Our line, very simple. It's click, it's drag, it's done. And you're going to see on the right-hand side, things have changed. Down here is the most important thing. It is called the border, and it's right here, otherwise known as, in Illustrator, a stroke. So if I do say stroke, please, I'm going back from Illustrator and Gravit Designer, and the terminology I'm trying to get you into, for both. So just when you see it outside of the classroom, you'll understand what they mean. So know that it's at one point, it's black, and it's normal. So if I want to change this, and let's go 4, hit enter, notice the line thickens up. Of course, it's done in points. And if you want it in inches, just type in, let's say, let's make this 0.25, and I put IN, hit enter, and notice it will create it into points. So that's up to you if you want to use inches or what have you. Let's just go 8 and notice how thick it is. Okay, and that's how relatively it is. Now we have the selection tool here. As it's already highlighted, I can take it and I can move it. And I can actually move both sides and rotate it whatever direction, or click the actual path itself. And as you can see, it's got the pivot point. Again, the only time you know then when it's moving is if I don't click on it, you don't see these little boxes down here. You have to highlight it, and that's how you know it's highlighted. We call that a bounding box. Of course, this is a line, so there's no box around the shape. It's just a line, but yet click that point, do whatever I need to do, and it works out really well. Notice you'll see the XY axis changes. You can see the positioning, etc., like this on the side. But for right now, the big thing is the border right now. You'll see that there on the right-hand side, there's a lot more that's going on. But these are the ones, this is the one that's probably the most important right now is that. I'm going to go to the next one. Just drop down, excuse me, and we'll do a rectangle. Notice I can click and drag, and I have a rectangle. One of the cool things about this is if I look over here in my layers, notice, whoop, your layer says rectangle. It's telling you specifically what it is, and it's awesome. And it gives you, it's very intuitive and it helps you out. It's very worker friendly. The cool thing about this is under my appearances, I can do corners. I can see and notice my corners have changed. It's very neat. The bounding box is there. We'll talk about that later. If I don't want that, I can choose that. I can mess with my opacity of it. I can fade it away and fade it not. I have my blending. Don't worry about that right now. And there's no styles. But again, here's my fill. It's just similar to the border. Let's click here and let's change the color to it. We have what we call swatches here, or we actually have the mixer here. That's up to you. It's a matter of sliding this first and then changing the color. I do not have my piece selected yet, so let's come, actually it is selected in layers, so we should be fine. If I change my swatch, it does change. The layers where it's highlighted is going to tell you where this is going to be affected. So be very, very conscious of what layer you're on. As I do this, I'm fine with this, and we'll just say okay, click off to the left. And then again, we're clicking here, and I can even put a border on it. So let's click on the border. Oh, it's not. Here we go. We're going to put a 1 point. No, we're going to actually make this a different color blue. We'll go like this. And we're going to come here and we're going to give it like a 6 point. I'll just say 6 and hit enter. And notice you can actually see what it looks like. Okay, working very well. Again, once highlighted again, we have other things coming down here. We can go through those. There's a drop shadow. There's an inner shadow and things like that. If you want to look at that, we'll talk more about that, but I'm just going to give you the basics right now. Other thing is, with our bounding box, I talked to you about this when we had the line on, you'll see these dots. I'm able to grab the dot, click and hold left, and drag out. I can manipulate my shape. I could take it, I can make it a diagonal, I can do whatever I want. I can also then rotate it too, and that is right here. But notice, let's move this up here, you're going to see when I make my size, notice here under size, it's changing. If I want to make it perfect and say 3 inches by 3 inches, I go 3, tab 3, tab just moves to the next one, hit enter, and notice I have my perfect square. If I want to rotate it, I can do two things. I can hold this little anchor up here. I'm coming back up here. Whoop. Click on it. I'm back here. And I can rotate it just by eye or by how I see it. Or then notice my angle has changed. It's minus 44 degrees. If you are a precise person, by all means, type in minus 45 degrees and make it perfect. Okay? And that's how we do those things. And that's how he is. So that's very simple and how we do that with how to change and manipulate your shapes. Let's go and delete that one now. Actually, I'll leave that one here. Just put it off to the side. And we're going to go to the circle, an ellipse. So now we have the circle tool. It's going to be similar to the actual square, just a different shape. I click on it. And when I click and I drag, notice I can make an ellipse, long, tall, or if I want a perfect circle, again, just like we did with the actual square or the rectangle, I can come here under size, and I can type 5, tab 5, enter, and I have a perfect circle. Everything still applies the same with my colors and my borders. Notice it's just that plus sign. We can do whatever we want there. I'm just going to give us another color so we can see it real easy, and it works out really well. Okay. Again, I have my bounding box. I can rotate it. You're not going to want to rotate a circle unless it's, because it's going to be perfect on all sides. But if it's an ellipse, yes, you can rotate that. I'm going to go through these really quick now. Polygon, it's going to ask, you're going to click, and you're going to drag. It's going to come out as a hexagon. Oh, we're a little off the page. Let's move that back over here. And you're going to find out that it has only so many sides. I can do as many sides as I want. As in, you're going to see the points. It's under appearance, so it's right here. You see the points. And I can do that as a slide tool. 7, 8, 9. I can do whatever you want to wherever you want to get to. Okay? And I can actually go down to the minimum of 3, which is a triangle. We have a triangle tool too, but these are two different ways to do that. So I'm going to change this tool really quick too. There's our color, looks good. And you're going to notice once I click off of something, onto the canvas, everything comes unselected, and look at our layers. I have a polygon, an ellipse, and a triangle. It's telling me where everything is. Okay, fantastic. So if I click on the polygon or the rectangle, notice it's highlighted. Click on the circle or the ellipse, it's highlighted too. And of course, everything on the right side happens. So I'm gonna do one more triangle here. Let's do it. Bam. How am I getting that? Looks pretty good. Let go. I got it on the money. I can angle it right here again under the positioning. My appearances, I guess, notice that there's only 3 points of the triangle. We can still do the corners like I did with the rectangle. I can still blend and everything else. All this stuff still appears. Let me change this color one more time. And now we have that. So basically, I've gone over your selection tool. I've gone, and you can see now how layers work. And I've gone over all the shape tools. Yes, there's a star. I will let you, it's a matter of just clicking again. I have my star here. The cool thing is I can put all different types of points under the appearance. There are points. Notice I can give it all different kinds. And I can round the corners. So I can do something like this. And the size is pretty cool. So the star is a little bit more unique. So give that a try also, okay? So I'm going to end there. You see what I've got. I don't want to make these too long. So that is the selection tool. I've done a little bit more about layers over here on the side. And then I did all of your shapes. Talk to you guys in a bit.